Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. Wow, people, I've been missing in action because I've been drowning and not in a good way. I had a series of things go on. So on Sunday, we decided we were going to upgrade our phones. It's time, right? And I was so excited because I actually got a phone that allows me to push a button and it flips to the backside while I'm taping. So great, such an upgrade. At the same time, I can't get the color right. Like, I feel like there's a putrid yellow tint. There's like no warmth to anything I do. Maybe it is just too honest and too vibrant, but I cannot hide. I will tell you that. I'm just like, are you kidding me? It's going to be an adjustment. So I labeled this Careful What You Pray For, because what happened was we went to get our phones and we did our little, oh, I don't have it on, our smartwatches as well. And, you know, it was super exciting. And the girl was so efficient. And then she was going to transfer all of our data, which was great. So she started transferring it. About 20 minutes went by. And then she said, can you guys come back in about 20 minutes? Because, you know, it's still going. Oh, yeah, no worries. We'll come back. So we're out talking, hanging out. Come on back. Can you give me 20 more? Yeah, I guess. Okay, 20 more. So we come back. Well, Dale's is done, but you have about 3 more hours. You have about 3 more hours, Juliana. I didn't realize that the 20 minutes was, you know, for this and this and this, but the 3 hours is for that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Well, you guys close in 45 minutes and we've already been here 4 hours. So what am I supposed to do? Oh, well, you can come first thing in the morning. That's a hard no. I teach, right? Well, then you can just leave it and get it tomorrow afternoon. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just spent all this money for this new phone. What am I going to be missing? Oh, not much. Just really like your text messages. And I'm like, okay, but my pictures are there. Well, yeah, because they're in the cloud. And what about my contacts? Yeah, your contacts will be saved. Okay, so really just text messages? I guess I can start over. You know, that's cool. Go ahead and erase it. When I got home, I couldn't find any apps. I couldn't find like my notes and things that I had in there, the things that I just quickly rely on throughout my day. Needless to say, yesterday and today were a bit of a challenge. I'm trying to remain very grateful and happy to be learning new skills, but wow, it was a shock. So that happened on Sunday, and then yesterday, you know, of course, I went to school. There was a total windstorm. I don't know if you saw it on the news. It was wicked, like nothing I had ever seen before. And it reminded me of the Dust Bowl of the 1920s. Not even kidding you. Horrific. And we even had to call what's called an intermittent schedule because the children could not go to recess because this, like the amount of dirt and everything in the desert, unbelievable. Okay, so I made it through all of that. And then if you remember, if you followed me, I had been hit by, you know, a car hit my car. And so ultimately I had to get a rental car, which I started a week ago. And they gave me a minivan and I was overwhelmed. And then it turned out to be such a blessing. Like the minivan was phenomenal. Oh my gosh, it's I think a Chrysler Pacifica. And it literally, I mean, has state-of-the-art everything, including like a moonroof, a sunroof, you know, hydraulic chairs that turn down, electric chairs on the passenger side, like on and on. Dale's like, you need this car. So I'm driving home in the windstorm, and all of a sudden I'm hearing clunk clunk and I'm like, what is that? And it was like all in the front, like of the car. I don't even know. I pull over in the windstorm to get out and try my hardest to see, like, what is it? Is there a tumbleweed? You know, like what? No tumbleweed. So I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't see what was stuck or anything. So I started driving. I was doing okay, and then and like even worse. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to pull over. So I finally got to where it was safe, and I pulled into a parking lot. And again, I just couldn't find anything. No emergency lights were coming on, anything. But I went ahead and called and I said, hey, there's something wrong with this car. I need you guys to tow it. And they're like, well, do you have AAA? You can. And I'm like, I'm not going to use my own. Are you kidding me? I'm not using my own. You only get like 4 for the whole year. And then so they said, well, we can send someone, but you'd have to pay $55. No, No. That is a hard no. No. Like, this is not even my gig. Well, are you sure you didn't run over any? No, no. Plus, I paid $12 extra every single day to make sure that it was secure, right? Okay, so finally, they agree. They'll waive that charge because, and then they're going to send an Uber. And unfortunately, they don't have any cars local where I live. So you're going to have to go to the next town over, but that's okay. They'll hook you up. So anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm waiting and I'm trying to like calm myself down because I'm exhausted, right? I mean, I've been up forever and it's already 6 o'clock at night. And all of a sudden the phone rings and it seems to be my superintendent. And I'm like, but that's weird because it looks like here's her actual cell. It's not like an all call, right? So I'm like, okay. So this is that whole idea that Tanny Raw, and if you don't know her, she's on every social media platform for health, always says there's something in your inbox. And I pray with my mother, praise God, every night since she's still on the planet. We used to say, God bless our inbox. Now we say, God have mercy. God have mercy on our inbox. Seriously. Okay, so I'm like, hi, it's Miss McCants. I'm just getting back to you. And, oh, how's your day? I said, terrible, but thanks for asking. I'm like, broken down rental car, waiting on an Uber. Like, cut to the chase, lady, because what is it? I said, any chance you're letting me go? Oh, no, it's nothing like that. I said, okay, so who died? Like, seriously, you could just tell. All right, so let's back up a moment. Again, if you followed me at all, you may remember I started this little tiny district in the desert 2 years ago. Like, technically, this is the beginning of the third year. So 2 years ago, I joined this little tiny district in the desert. Within the first few months, the superintendent died. He didn't feel well. He was at a performance the night before at the high school. He didn't feel well the next day. He thought, you know what, I'm going to stop by the hospital on my way home and say, hey. They said, oh my gosh, we need to put in a stent, and an emergency just in case stent. He never left. He died on the table, 5 kids and a wife at home. The district was devastated. COVID was just coming into full force where we were literally having to send our children home. And it was just chaos. Well, the assistant superintendent had to, of course, pick up the reins and take it from there. Well, that assistant superintendent, again, if you remember, I totally love Dr. Luna, who, when I was at a new teacher meeting and didn't even know him at all, seemingly misplaced my keys. I even called AAA to check the car. I was desperately looking for them. God, this is a lot of AAA story. Desperately looking for those keys to no avail. I was asking St. Anthony of Lost Objects, St. Jude of Lost Causes, the angels to put them in a very obvious place. 6 people dumped out everything I owned, and we all looked to no avail. And Dr. Luna said, I'll give you a ride. And I'm like, dude, I'm 48 miles from here. And he's like, yeah, no worries, I'll take you. I'm like, okay, the assistant superintendent is just kindly driving me all the way home. You gotta love that. So he drove me all the way home. Well, we totally got to know each other. He was phenomenal. We laughed our heads off. And then every single time we were in a meeting, we were like 2 little kids in the back of the room getting in so much trouble. Because we could just see everything the same. Just super, super funny. So he had to pick up the reins and all of that. Well, in the meantime, a teacher at my school died who had cancer, which was totally tragic. If you really remember, during the first month of school, my partner teacher had a stroke, which was terrible. And then last year, like 6 months ago, a teacher at another school site, but in my district, we only have 6 little schools, committed suicide, complaining about stuff regarding the district. So it was just one horrific thing after another. And so I didn't really want to say who died, but that just is where she was going. My precious Dr. Luna died. My precious Dr. Jesus Luna, the funniest, most joyful guy ever, that I just couldn't love more, died. Okay, so I heard that he had COVID. I knew that. So let's say it's September. We came back. We're doing teacher training, getting ready. So actually mid-August, because we're getting ready for the school year to start. And I think the training was like August 9th, and then school was starting the 11th, and he led the training. It was obvious he didn't feel well, but, he was on doing it. Okay, in the meantime, they bumped him and hired from outside as an actual superintendent rather than moving him up, which of course had to have been hurtful. Come on, it had to have been hurtful. But game player, such a good guy, lost his mentor, the original superintendent who died, carried on anyway, accepts this other superintendent getting what really could have been his position rightfully, still great attitude, and now ends up with COVID. So he ends up with COVID and says, no worries, you guys, I will be back. I just wanted to be here for the training, but let you know I need to take some time to get well. So through the grapevine, I'm hearing he's not getting well, that he is literally struggling just to walk down the driveway, and that they have no idea when he'll be back. So of course I'm praying my head off for him. I mean, I love him so much. I wrote him a couple of times, but of course it just said, oh, out of the office or whatever. And then he just was so sick that, again, kind of through the grapevine, I heard that he had a heart attack related to the COVID. And what they may or may not have told us was that that's when he died. I don't know, because it seems that he died on July 2nd. And that may have been what killed him. But most certainly COVID related. So this was how beautiful. The superintendent heard that as she was only calling principals and then people in positions like the teacher union president and stuff, that my name kept coming up saying, can you please call Juliana before you tell the entire district? Because she loved that guy. They were simpatico. And so she said, your name came up several times. I wanted to call you before I announce it to everybody. How beautiful was that? I thanked her to no end. I mean, wow. So this is me, exhausted, sitting in a car, waiting for a Lyft and an Uber. So finally, I'm like trying to compartmentalize to get through the night. I get over to the rental car place, and they have a rental car for me, but instead of this beautiful minivan, it's this low rider something. I don't even know what, but whatever. I'm desperate. Give me the car. Well, in the meantime, the guy who is supposed to tow the original car says, we need the keys. Well, they made me take the keys and lock it. And now they're like, well, you kind of live over there. Would you mind just dropping them off? Okay, I'm a Christian. I can do this. Do it. So I say, okay, I'm on my way over there. And a bunch of lights come on the dash saying, warning, exclamation point, in this other car. Yeah, that I got. I am losing my mind. Okay, out of grace, I gave that guy the keys, but now I'm losing my mind. The place is closing in 7 minutes and they're not answering. I hustle back over there. I'm like pounding. And the girl comes out and she's like, what? And I said, hun, I'm not doing this. There's a bunch, oh, that's normal. You just reset. No, I'm not doing it. No, I'm going to have to open the safe and everything. Yes, you are. Yes, you are going to have to open the safe and everything. I am not doing this. So again, in the midst of this storm, are you getting this? Like the storm of my soul for Dr. Luna, the actual windstorm that's taking place. Oh my, we're like trying to wipe off windows so I can even see outside of that. So just all this chaos. And then finally, I go ahead and get this other one. It reeks of cigarettes and perfume. But what can I do? They're closing. I'm not even getting home till 8:45. I'm like, I will resolve that tomorrow. So tomorrow was today. So I had to wear my mask in the car just to even try and breathe. I brought a change of clothes when I got to school. I couldn't do anything about my hair smelling, just to get the nightmare off of me. And I called them and I told them, and they were okay about it. And they said, come back tonight. So I went back over there tonight after school, and it was a really hard day because, of course, everybody was talking about Dr. Luna, and I was trying to tell them some of the loveliness of him, like driving me 50 miles, like when a third grader drowned on a field trip, and he was the only one who knew Spanish and dared to go to that house and explain to them in Spanish that their child had died. I mean, he was so beautiful. And so I was busy singing his praises, but so tired. And then I went over there to get a car, and literally the first 4 cars were all perfume and cigarettes. And finally, the 5th car, I could breathe. And I thanked God to no end. And I came home and ate my planned meal and did my rebounding and promised I would be in bed by 10 o'clock. Didn't make it. But guess what? I can be in bed by 11 o'clock. It's only 10:40. Just enough time. Get in there. Say my prayers. I'm on it. So anyway, people, that was a lot, I know. But you're my JBV community, and I appreciate you letting me share that out. I'm adjusting to the phone. I'm adjusting to another car. I'm adjusting to a precious friend leaving the planet, even though I know his body obviously would no longer serve him. And for that, I am grateful to God. And I will be in touch with a great talk tomorrow, all right? All right, my friends, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. If you're available on Saturday, there's a great workshop going. I will tell you more about that tomorrow as well. Until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.